Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes. When this masterpiece emerged in the early 17th century, it sent shockwaves through the art world. Judith, traditionally depicted as delicate and demure, is instead shown as a fierce avenger. Her eyes are filled with unshaken resolve, while Holofernes' face contorts in sheer terror. The crimson splatter of blood, the stark contrast of light and shadow, it all combines to create a scene so visceral, so hauntingly real, that the viewer cannot look away. But this painting is not just about violence. It is a statement, a defiant woman, taking justice into her own hands. Even centuries later, its raw intensity remains undiminished. William Adolphe Bouguereau's Dante and Virgil in Hell. When this painting debuted in the mid-19th century, it ignited controversy. In the heart of a burning inferno, Dante and Virgil stand, not with fear, not with horror, but with quiet contemplation. The writhing, tormented souls around them heighten the painting's emotional weight. At a time when Romanticism dominated the art world, Bouguereau's classical precision seemed almost defiant. Some critics dismissed it as cold, lacking passion, while others saw it as a bold testament to discipline and technique. But one thing was certain: this painting refused to be ignored. It stood against the tide, challenging the very definition of artistic expression. Edouard Manet's Olympia. In 1863, when Olympia was unveiled, it was as if the world held its breath. A reclining nude, a subject familiar to art history, but with a difference so striking it was almost confrontational. Olympia does not avert her gaze in modesty. She meets the viewer's eyes with bold defiance. She is no mythical goddess, no soft vision of romanticized femininity. She is real, her pale skin unashamed, stark against the dark background. A simple ribbon around her neck, a pair of slippers, a black cat at her feet. Details that set her apart from the idealized figures of the past. Critics were outraged. Society was not ready for such an unapologetic portrayal of female agency. But this painting was more than a work of art. It was a revolution. And today, it stands as a landmark in the history of modern painting, proving that art is meant not just to please, but to provoke. Jacob Cornelis, Van Oesenen's Laughing Fool. Laughter, but is it joy, or is it something else? The fool's bright clothing, the jingling bells on his cap, the music in his hands. It all suggests merriment. And yet, look closely. Is there a shadow beneath that smile? A fleeting sadness in the eyes? This is more than just a gesture at play. It is a reflection of life's contradictions. How often do we laugh to hide sorrow? How fragile is the line between joy and despair? This painting does not just show a fool. It holds up a mirror to human nature itself. August Schenk's Anguish. A mother stands alone in a cold, desolate landscape. Her child lies lifeless before her. Her body is tense with grief. Her face frozen in silent agony. But this is not a human mother. She is a sheep. And yet, the pain she feels is unmistakable, universal. The stormy sky above, the vast emptiness surrounding her. It all amplifies the crushing weight of loss, the absence of color, the starkness of the scene, the sheer emotional depth. This is not just a painting. It is a wound, a silent scream of despair that echoes through time. Anguish is not about an animal's sorrow. It is about the nature of loss itself, the grief that binds all living things together.